Yo, what's going on YouTube? How y'all doing? Hopefully the camera's working, or the microphone working. Looks like it's working. Hopefully the YouTube's is wonderful and amazing. Hello intro, what's up? Krampus Dumpling, wash hands, InfoSec Kid, what up? How you doing? What is crack-a-lackin' hibbity happening on the snapping? You're all good. Porsche 911 fan, what's up? How are you all doing tonight? We're just doing a random, for the fun of it, AMA. For fun. So why not? So you got questions? Maybe I have answers. I might not. I don't know. I should get a Get Bash hat, bro. I mean, could. Do you want me to make one? I made this one. What's up, Brandon Fairchild? How you doing? It's been how long? It's been a minute since I've done a live stream. So I figured, why not? You may have gotten your first help desk job. Well, I may or may not have a congratulations for you. Good morning. It's like evening here, so good morning to you wherever you're at like the other side of the world. But Porsche 911, good luck. I hope you get it. I just got done recording a video on LinkedIn, and I was going to start editing it, and then I was like, maybe I'll just do a live stream because I don't feel like editing a video right now. And it's like long. It was like 25 minutes. And I was checked out. You're from India. Well, hello from India, or hello to India. It's dark here already. It's 5:40. It's dark out. It's cold. It's supposed to be raining. Sorry, I'm looking and get all these. Anyway, yeah, this form, public trust, whatever that is. All right. For this organization that you're going to be working at, or what? Would it be easier for a web developer to switch to cyberspace? Would it be easier than what? How can you get your dream job in an IT company? Well, what's your dream job? Is your dream job a position, or is it for a company? Pretty warm in New York. I don't know what the temp is right here. What is the temperature here? Oh, there's a hurricane. Florida homes collapsing. I haven't talked to my mom today. Should probably call her. It says that it's 66 degrees right now. That is pretty warm here. And I don't see rain yet, but it's supposed to be raining soon. Anyway, what y'all up to? Hey, Zach, OG, what's up, Average Guru? Am I just asking questions about the questions I'm being asked? Yeah, maybe. I probably was. I'm just repeating the questions so people know what questions I'm maybe potentially answering. Porsche 911 fan, you said that one of the requirements is that you're able to obtain and maintain a public trust clearance. Like a security clearance or what? Sorry. One of my children's came home and I hear him upstairs and he's like running around like a madman. So I hope it's not too loud. Anything new in the security world? I feel like there's always new things in the security world, right? There's always like new happenings. Why is my camera like it's all focused on the microphone? That's so weird. Stop that. But yeah, I don't know, like specifically hacks. I don't know. The security world is like imploding on Twitter. The Twitterverse is an up in arms, especially like all the security folks are all up in arms. So I don't know if I should be joining the mastodons at this point or whatnot. I haven't checked it out yet, to be completely honest with you. How can you get a good internship like Amazon, Google, Microsoft? You would have to be like, from what I know, have to be really good at what you do, whatever that is that you want to be doing. That's maybe related to the services and things that they offer, right? Like if you want to be like some kind of like programmer, right? Like you got to be really good. You got to be a really good programmer. Even to get like an internship there. I know like just landing those internships, sometimes like those interviews can be very difficult. Or like specifically like if you go like you most often have to go to a lot of like universities and things like that who partner with those types of organizations. Those That's going to be like a n- not necessarily an easier route, but potentially could be. Man, there's so many different ways, and it's really difficult to do, like, honestly. I think that's, like, everybody's dream, like, "Oh, I'd love to go work for Amazon, Google, Microsoft." Like, yeah, sure, I think we all would. Um, but you gotta be really good at what you do. Uh, I'm gonna highlight this question. You're a third-year IT student, but don't know anything about programming. Is it possible to make it, in the future? Yeah, you don't need to know programming to work in IT. Programming is not a requirement working in IT. Like, what specifically worries you about this? Hey, could you tell me what skills you need to work on to succeed when you get your first IT job? Help desk. Currently studying to get your A plus and just need a little bit more direction. What skills you need to work on to succeed to get your first help desk job? So you're studying for your A plus, which is fantastic. There's a lot of good information on that A plus that's going to help you with a help desk job. But like outside of like A plus, I would strongly suggest that you start building your own home lab. And when I say home lab, what you're going to do is start taking notes because you want to download VirtualBox or like VMware like workstation, and then you want to download like Windows Server ISO. You can download Windows 10 ISO, Windows 11 ISO. Definitely download like Windows Server, um, and you're going to want to virtualize that Windows Server. And then once you virtualize that, and I have videos on this, and I would suggest going back and watching those because it'll walk you through setting up and virtualizing Microsoft Windows Server and configuring Active Directory, because you'll definitely want to know and understand, just be familiar with Active Directory, especially in a help desk role. Definitely something, to look into. Other than that, like ticketing systems, you can start looking at some of the free trials that they have online. Just get familiar with those ticketing systems because you're going to be in ticketing systems. So just like understand, like, hey, that there's like these ticketing systems that exist that can help you manage and understand like information about your environment. Say you get this help desk job, an issue comes in, you're on the phone with somebody and they're like, hey, I have an issue with X, Y, and Z, right? And they may say like, oh, like, I maybe, experienced this before. Maybe they don't, but the point is you can go back through your ticketing system and see if any past tickets exist with that same issue. And that's a great way to help you, like, finish troubleshooting that issue. But, knowing that, like, hey, you can right now go online, sign up for free like trials of ticketing systems. I think you can download and install and virtualize OS Ticket. It's a free ticketing system, but again, just kind of get familiar with that, understand that. Um, like those are two things I think would really help tremendously. Virtualizing things, get familiar with the cloud. So like once you do all these things in like VirtualBox or VMware, go do it in like Azure or AWS. Like learn the cloud, learn more about virtualization. Like these are going to be the things that like help you. I hope that my long-winded response to that was helpful. Do I have insights on ISC squared? I mean, the stuff that they do is pretty good from what I hear. A lot of people utilize them and are happy with them from what I know. Right now, you start your first service desk role on Monday. Well, congratulations and good luck to you. What should you be doing while gaining experience to progress? I hopefully you were just here while I just covered all that because I literally just said all of the things. So hopefully you got that. Why did I change my name? I don't know because I'm just not like, I don't want to be known as the IT career questions guy anymore. I don't think it's just not fun and appealing and exciting to me as it once used to be. Plus, I just don't do all of the things that I used to do. I'm not in I'm not involved in any part of the industry like I used to be. And that yeah, that relates more so to what the IT career questions channel represented, I guess. It's a very cryptic response on my end, I know, but I don't know any other way to answer that. Did I talk about the firing happening? I would assume you're referring to Twitter. I didn't really talk about it because I honestly don't care. Like, just don't. I was just kind of saying, like, I don't need it. I don't know if I need to join Mastodon at this point or not. Like, I will if I have to, but I don't. I don't get upset about those things. Not worth it. Do you need programming for cybersecurity? What I guess like I would love to know what your definition of programming is, and I would love to know what you would like to do in cybersecurity. That could help me like answer that question like more specifically, but you don't like in general don't necessarily need to know programming to work in cybersecurity. Um, but for everything in IT, you need to know scripting, which is much like programming. But like programmers and developers get really offended when you say like PowerShell is a programming language, or you say like, Python. Well, I guess Python. See, that's I'm not going to go down that whole thing because anyway, scripting. Scripting more so refers to like PowerShell, command prompt, running command, yay, batch files, scripting, Python. Uh, I'm pretty sure I said like bash, but anyway, yeah, that's like scripting, right? Which is completely different than programming like Java or JavaScript or like PHP, right? Like those are programming languages. It's a whole thing, and you won't understand it until you start working in IT for a long time, and you, for whatever reason, say like, "Oh, gosh, just say like HTML is a programming language," and somebody will have like a conniption fit over that. Like they will just freak out, and it's like, okay, I get it, I understand, right? Okay, but anyway, people who understand what I'm talking about will understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, you'll see what I mean when you get to that stuff. Anyway, programming, not necessarily for cybersecurity. Don't necessarily need to know programming for some of the different cybersecurity roles out there. But hey, like, you know, penetration testers, like there could be cause or concern or not, and maybe those aren't the right words to use, but there could be reason to need to know programming, especially like if you want to do more like web app type of penetration testing and things like that. So like yeah, it's a very long-winded answer. I'm sorry, but we really have to like explain these things and go into detail on some of the stuff and really kind of draw it out so that we understand what we're talking about here. I hope that all makes sense. I probably missed a lot of comments because I'm just blabbering on and on. So anyway, what is the highest IT salary? I don't know. That's going to vary based on the position, based on the company, based on where you live, based on your experience, but mainly based on the company, probably more than likely. I don't know. There's a lot of IT positions that pay a lot of money, and there are a lot of IT positions that don't pay a lot of money, right? And then, yeah, it's just really so heavily dependent on the organization and where you live. Reading through comments, I'm sorry. Or yeah, trying to see what I can answer here for y'all. John Doe, what is the difference between system administrator and help desk? What do you do specifically? So help desk, by like, just if you were to look at IT and start like tiering things and look at like different levels of IT, right? Help desk is like level one, very bottom of the barrel. Like that is like typically like the first type of IT job that somebody would have. They're like the first go-to for many things. So like in a help desk position, you might be answering phones all day, answering tickets all day. You're typically like that first line of defense, and you'll troubleshoot and try to fix like very basic things within an organization. Maybe you're like resetting passwords or helping people with their email. That's like a lot of like what help desk type of positions do. System administrator, like that is typically going to be like a couple levels like past a help desk type of position. So again, if we were to like tier this out and look at it from different levels, you might have like a help desk position, you might have like a level one tech position, maybe a level two tech position, or like a senior tech position, and then maybe you have like a junior sysadmin and then like a regular sysadmin, a senior sysadmin, or you might also have on your team like a junior network administrator, network engineer, blah, blah, blah. Right. We can go like, I can just go on and on about that, like the roles and all that. Anyway, system administrator is just a few levels like past what you would find in the help desk. A system administrator, again, like they would typically focus on managing your servers, your backups, maybe your email, like email servers, file servers, um, managing like Active Directory or domain controllers, like virtualization within your organization. Um, System administrators typically like they're going to have quite a few years of experience under their belt, and often they're going to more specialize in one area over another. Like they might just be more proficient in like a specific area. Like you might have some like a sysadmin who is just really good with your like your backup systems or something, or just really good with your email, like your Exchange servers and things like that. Or you might have a sysadmin who's just really good with like managing your cloud and things like that, right? But their title still might be like sysadmin. But anyway, like yeah, most sysadmins have a few years of experience under their belts, and they're capable of managing like a lot of your system, like your servers, desktops, laptops, just general media within your entire environment. You know, they're going to have like that the years of experience to kind of help back up like the capabilities that they're able to do, the systems and services, servers that they're able to manage, and things like that. So I hope that's helpful. I hope we broke that down in a very easy to understand way. Like I've probably said more words in the last 5 minutes than I have in the last 2 days. If you can't tell from my voice giving out, I don't talk very much anymore. Is it good to start studying getting the CompTIA ITF Plus cert before the CompTIA A Plus cert, or is that a waste of time? You have no experience with IT. I wouldn't, you could study the information on the CompTIA ITF Plus. I wouldn't imagine it's going to take that long. I wouldn't necessarily go through and get that certification and or pay for it if they make you. Knowing CompTIA, they love money, even though they're nonprofit. They love money. Well, I guess nonprofits generally do love money, right? But anyway, CompTIA is very greedy. CompTIA ITF Plus, not worth it to have. Honestly, it's not worth it to have on your for any reason. The information can be helpful, but you're better off spending your time and efforts and money on your CompTIA A Plus for sure. Brother E, you're currently an IT specialist. What would be some skill sets you can train on and programs you can go more depth into so you can eventually advance to being a network engineer? All right. So you want to be a network engineer. You're already a general IT specialist. So you can really just start studying or really focusing on something like your CCNA and getting that certification. If you want to become a network engineer, like that's going to be the most helpful thing for you. You can start off by studying the information on like the CompTIA Network Plus. The information is really valuable. I wouldn't suggest that you pay the money for that certification because it costs more money than the CCNA. And the CCNA certification is infinitely more valuable than your CompTIA Network Plus certification. So spend less dollars and buy a more, marketable certification like the Cisco Certified Network Associate, the CCNA. Get your CCNA. That's going to be your best bet. That's what I would suggest that you do. As far as programs, you can download a program from Cisco actually called Packet Tracer. Packet Tracer is going to be extremely, extremely valuable for you in your studies because it lets you virtualize Cisco routers and Cisco switches. Virtualization is so huge when you're learning. So yeah, download Packet Tracer. And there's plenty of videos out there on the World Wide Webs to help you learn more about Packet Tracer and learn more about your Cisco CCNAs and all that fun stuff. What's up, Daryl Moore? How you doing, sir? It's good to see you. Bearded IT Dad, what is going on? Love the name change and the hat looks sharp. Heck yeah, thank you. I love the hat. We had to do something different. Who's the richest person in IT? Is it Bezos still? Probably. Is it Musk? I don't know. Are they technically in IT? Technically, they're in technology, I guess. Yeah, one of those guys. Are the layoffs going to affect entry level and mid level engineers getting roles? I mean, layoffs are probably going to affect everybody to some extent, right? And it's just really dependent on, you know, the different organizations, those industries that they're in, right? Like what industries are going to be most affected by what's currently happening in the world, right? Like I can't answer that. Nor do I really want to try to answer that and go into depth into this. I can just tell you that overall, like, some of the industries are going to be affected by this. Some industries may not be affected by this, but we'll probably, I would say, I don't know. Gosh, who knows? It's hard to speculate. I guess we'll find out because we done messed around and now we're done about to find out. I would obviously love to use different words. I don't know if this is gonna. Yep, right. I'd love to say some swear words on that one, but I'm not going to. Oh, look, there's Cisco. Cisco has joined the chat. What's good, Run? Wow, it's gonna be different hearing people like respond to my name differently. Sorry. Ash, what's up? You've just been signed on to CompTIA Security Plus, benefit system in England. What's your advice before you start? You have minimal experience, knowledge in IT field. You can start watching Professor Messer for free on the YouTube. He has an entire CompTIA Security Plus series. He also has an entire series on the CompTIA A Plus and the CompTIA Network Plus. And those are great places to start studying. You can also join like IT Pro TV. They're pretty cheap. You just go to www.itpro.tv. Use my coupon code ITCQ30. That's ITCQ30. I'll put it in the chat because I might have to get a different coupon code, like Run CMD 30. Kathy on that. I'm gonna have to. Anyway, join IT Pro TV. They have a lot of good stuff on the CompTIA studies and just everything else in general. But yeah, best place to get started for free. Professor Messer on the YouTube for sure. What is my number one tip getting prepared for a cybersecurity career as a student? My number one tip, get out on social media and get out on LinkedIn because yeah, you got to stand out. It's so hard to stand out these days, right? This is literally what I just recorded my video on, right before I started this live stream, is getting on LinkedIn and utilizing that platform. Because especially for anybody who's trying to get into cybersecurity, right? Like specifically cybersecurity, I'm going to highlight here because so many people want to get into cybersecurity, and because so many organizations, like training organizations and stuff, do a terrible job of marketing cybersecurity training and boot camps and all that stuff, right? Like there's this everybody thinks that you could just jump right into cybersecurity, right? Like everybody just thinks that because that's what marketing has done to us. That's what a lot of like influencers have done to us. Um, and it's a shame because it's not really that easy to get into cybersecurity because your competition, like to get into any cybersecurity role, your competition is like 100% of the time, 100% of the time, your competition for any cybersecurity role already has prior IT experience. 100% of the time, when you're trying to get into any cybersecurity role, even an entry level cybersecurity role, your competition for that role already has prior IT experience. So your degree in cybersecurity means absolutely nothing when you are competing against somebody who may also have a degree, but they have experience. Like that's the thing about like the cybersecurity like field right now as it stands. When you're trying to break into the cybersecurity field, it's not as easy as anybody makes it out to be. Again, to highlight this again, like just really be blunt. For an entry level cybersecurity job, even for a SOC analyst, your competition might be a system administrator. Your competition might be a network engineer, but they want to make that transition into cybersecurity, right? They've just worked as a network engineer for the last 5 years, but they're like, I want to work in cybersecurity. And there's the SOC analyst role that's open. And guess what? Cybersecurity jobs often pay pretty good money. So that network engineer, he might even get a pay bump by getting an entry level SOC analyst position. Like that's no joke. Like that's like real deal. That's what's happening in the cybersecurity world. So if anybody thinks that you're going to jump into a cybersecurity position with just a degree, like it's not going to be that easy. It's not even going to be that easy if you have a degree and certifications, because again, falls back to your biggest competition is people who have experience. Cybersecurity is a very niche product within IT. It often takes experience to work in the cybersecurity industry. So that that's just straight up facts. And I'm sorry if that upsets you. And I guess I'm not sorry if that upsets you. It's just straight facts. Brandon with A plus, Net plus, and Security plus. What other suggestions do I have to get an entry level role? You've been doing labs already, Active Directory. So get out on LinkedIn, maybe start a blog. You could start like doing like YouTube videos. I'm not telling you to be an influencer. That's not what all of this means. It just means, hey, get out there and show people what you're capable of doing. Go through a walkthrough, show people that you've set up Active Directory. Go like literally download OBS, record your screen. You don't have to show yourself, just talk your way through setting up Active Directory and share that. Or, share a blog about the trouble that you had setting up Active Directory or the cool things that you've learned about setting up Active Directory. You have to like get out there and show ways that you're different and like yeah, I just wait till I drop this video about LinkedIn. That's it. That I have so many things that I could say. The bearded IT dad, do you think college degree requirements are starting to go away? I don't, man, I've thought so, but I don't think so. I really don't. I think you'll always have that as a request in some way, maybe a requirement, but man, the competition right now, it just in everything is just so rough. So it's hard to say. Eric, that's a good question. Would I say it's better to focus on a specific sector of IT first and getting in that way, and then pivot to cybersecurity after a couple of years? I would. I always suggest to everybody the best way to get into IT to venture off into whatever you're going to do is by landing a role in the help desk if you can. Right? That's going to require like the least amount of work, right? Like honestly, getting on a help desk role is going to require the least amount of work. If you want to specialize, it's going to require a lot more work because you're going to have a lot more competition. So like sometimes you see out on social media people who go through like a boot camp who have just graduated college, like land like really good jobs. It's hard to like compare yourself to them because you can't say for sure like what they did to get there. Like what did they do outside of going to college and this boot camp that helped them got to like these positions? Like was networking part of that and blah 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 blah, right? But the point is like what I'm getting at, oftentimes the best way to get into IT is just by getting into the door, right? Or just by oftentimes by getting into like more advanced areas of IT like cybersecurity, right? Like the best way to get there is just by getting in the door, like just getting into a help desk role, like a level 1 tech role, things like that. Um, so I hope that helps. What's going on, Kev Tech? How are you doing, sir? It is always good to see you. There you go. If you say help desk and tap your shoes 3 times, Kev Tech shows up. I probably said it 3 times. Somebody said, "How do you separate yourself with no skills or education?" Man, social media is like a freaking animal for that right now. I'm not okay. Not picking your question. You're welcome. Everyone has a degree nowadays. I don't have a degree. Man, so many of the people that I worked with in IT did not have degrees, honestly. And we're talking like sysadmins, network admins, like they didn't have degrees. Just because you know one or two doesn't mean it's feasible. You are correct. However, you could probably go through like the thousands upon thousands of comments on this channel and find other people who don't have a degree either. I'm not advocating either way. There are many paths to get into this field. Um, so many different ways that you can venture into this field. There are no hard requirements though. A degree can definitely be helpful, but is by no means a requirement. There are going to be jobs that require a degree, but there are going to be jobs that do not require a degree. But yeah, it's only going to be helpful for you. That's all I can say. Saying it's not feasible for most, I don't think anybody could say it's not feasible for most because not everybody has the same path. Yeah, everyone's path is different. So it's one of those things. I just you we can't say that a degree is required to work in IT. Nobody can tell you that. Will it be helpful? Yeah, it'll be helpful. It's not required though. I don't know what this person is all on about right now. Not the degree thing. You were a 37-year-old train conductor when you switched to IT. That's wild. There's this guy out on LinkedIn, David Meese. He was 38 years old when he switched to IT, and then he was 41 when he got a cybersecurity job. Any strategy for learning command line, or is it just repeat, repeat, repeat? what do you like? What is it specifically that you're, I guess, worried about learning in the command line? Like, there's going to be things that you like go back to time and time again in the command line, like IP config and IP IP config flush DNS and IP config renew release blah 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 blah, right? And ping, gosh, for the love of everything, pinging all of the things, um like those are things that you'd probably utilize on a almost day-to-day basis, right? But other things like installing an application through the command line, you may not utilize that on a day-to-day basis. um like you may do it enough times that you remember it, but yeah, it's like there's just going to be things that you're not going to remember all the time. But you'll find, like, when you start working in a role in IT, like every single IT job I had, like it was like PowerShell was open, command line was open, like constantly. It was like Active Directory, PowerShell, command line, ticketing system. Um, there's probably more, but it's been so long. But like those were the things that were constantly open on my computer every single day. Anyway, I have to leave because I need to get something to drink. I have not spoken this much in a long time. So this is just another, or not another, it's just a random live stream. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a wonderful and amazing night. Take care. And maybe next time we'll see you.